right, Fambulem. I bring warm greetings from the then and now media empire. Today, the 5th of September 2021, me now a host and presenter, Prince Emil Chroma. Today on the then and now media empire, we are supposed for the host a guest, a 3 times honorable in the House of Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and a former APC flag bearer aspirant, a man with vast experience, none other but Honorable Ibrahim Arbundu, will be supposed for can help we for talk about issues surrounding the constituency elections in which delegates as directed by the courts of the Republic of Sierra Leone under the direction of Justice Adrian Fisher for holding election there for select candidates them. We go team up and we win 5 from each constituency. We go on to the convention and go help for adopt this new constitution. But as they speak now, the honorable not able for join we yet, but we promise by God in power, the honorable will join we at some point soon. But notwithstanding Fambulem, there is much more for talk about because there is so much happening, especially so in the near home. Top of this conversation that happen now tonight, all over the world, we get reverberation na the Republic of Sierra Leone, and as we speak, we know say we nation day in a state of alert for good reasons, because in the neighboring country of the sisterly Republic of Guinea, Conakry, there has been a coup plot. It's no longer a plot because it seems like the coupists were successful in ejecting a man who long ago through elections, which was largely engineered, machinated, rigged, and before that process day itself, there was a process in which he began for up the question of the country, change them for fit the narrative, then when we want to perpetuate themselves in the power. In the lead up to that, hundreds and hundreds of Guineans were murdered in cold blood in the streets of the capital and other places. Why? Because then they are for protest against a system which the president then been vowed for uphold in a constitution where it take an oath upon for protect the country both from outside aggression and for protect its people. It go on for instruct in security forces for turn the guns which the very people them pay for through taxes them simply because they had audacity to protest. Today, Fambulem, as we speak, now the neighboring republic, the former president, Mr. Conde, an 83-year-old man, I believe, is 83. It's no more. From pictures where we see emanate from Guinea earlier on today, that man has been overthrown in a popular coup. And I say a popular coup because we see the resentment in the match up to this particular day where we see today. Because then it can get the forces, the resources of the state, where it be supposed for use to the advantage of the Guineans for making become that beloved man we not been get any more time, much more time left. Because remember, he's 83. He could have endeared himself to the people of Guinea, make himself a legion, a man to be loved, a man where then will continue for teaching the history books of the country, if we did care for legacy. But he did not. He turned the machine guns on the people and gunned down, mow down, and call them mow down hundreds of Guinean people. The blood of those people, I believe, have spoken today. Tyranny has got a time space. Tyranny, nepotism, cronyism has got a time space. It has got limitations. No matter how long, there are consequences. The rule of democracy must prevail. What we vow for, what we vouch for, what we ask for as a people is for us to be offered equity, so that we were able to grow and sustain ourselves in a country that belongs to everybody, to every citizen, not a particular group of people. What people normally ask for in a democracy is the very tenets and principle of this fundamental ethic that people are supposed to uphold and live by. There's a social contract. If the people live by theirs, as asked by that contract, largely unwritten, but it's a principle understood across the aisle, so should everybody else, and this includes governments. Unfortunately, that government, when the people went out to protest that we don't like what you are doing, and as they say, they were mowed down, they were gunned down, machine gunned down by the same security force who have turned their guns on that same establishment. We've been turned the guns down on against the people. What this implies is there is nothing that is greater than the power of the people. There is nothing that is greater than the power of the people, I repeat. And as I speak tonight, Fambulem, the reverberation is felt in the hills. Remember that we are just in the neighborhood. And what happens in Guinea has consequence in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, in Guinea-Bissau, basically countries that borders it. What happens in Sierra Leone has consequences in Guinea, Conakry, and Liberia, and most like the Atlantic Ocean. These are the entities that border with country. So it is only logical that waiting happen at Guinea today, of course, does have a reverberating effect. It does ask for sober reflection and thoughts as to the approach of government and governance and the people. Because ever the case, anything you want now prevail over people in a peaceful atmosphere, in a conducive atmosphere, in a way how people will become for love you. You don't want to rule over a divided nation, because if you want to sleep peacefully at night, where you not get for fear these consequences, where largely people then go come out for you. And I give you a typical example. It's not like these things are impossible. They are possible. The reason why the government in Venezuela today, let me take una to North America, South America. The reason why the government in Venezuela today is very much in place is simply because the army is an indoctrinated army for a good cause. The reason why Hugo Chavez survived that long and why his legacy, even when in kill him, is still live on in the sense that the man when they anoint, all the powerful forces them reign against them, and this has been clear. They've seized their offshore accounts, they've seized their reserves, they've seized their gold, they've captured and pirated their ships that are taking rescue to the people in forms of oil or other crude material they weren't supposed for use for sustain themselves. Largely, that government has survived, even though with hostile neighbors. Why? Because the man initiated policies that had an impact on the lives of the people, that made education a priority, that made housing a priority in a country which is filthy rich just like ours, in which prior to his coming to power, now one great set of people let me they enjoy. Then one day when they come out under and go there and go use the country as a backyard and take the country in funds and funnel them abroad. Now offshore accounts, live largely, fly all over the place and abandon the very people we give them power. People's power will always prevail, and this is a lesson to learn. Not a topic, now topic where they come on because we get for talk about and largely as the days unfold, but because we wait for let we guest join, so I been get time, here for weigh in on this particular issue where happen in neighboring Guinea. Again, I repeat, the people or power belongs to the people. This notion where people and they go along with, I need for somebody for show me where it is written that governments have to stay like 10 years in power. Because now my understanding and the way people like you say like you have to stay 10 years in power. Where is it written? Where is in the Bible that it is written, in the Quran that it is written, or in recent chapters? Or we still go along say now outside forces now then get for draft we future for we. Because I know some people and they subscribe to that. But even if we should buy into that, where is it that they said that people have to stay in power for 10 years? It is not written. Where is it that they say, coup plots Okay. Yes, super. Um, Obviously, you know the system. Let me just, but again, it's your phone that you're using. All right, hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we get few calls. I think I don't miss 3 or 4, but obviously I just get one year. We say one opine, but because of the system we use, it's a little bit difficult for me. I don't know if I put them on speaker whether una go able for capture them, and una where they listen if una able for capture this conversation from the where they come from the phone. Please let me know so I go continue. You want to say hello quickly? Let me see if people in the pick that up, please.
Hello, Fambulem. This is Superman. You hear me?
Okay, Fambulem, is anybody hearing the caller? If anybody hearing the caller, let me know, please, so we can come on because they want opine on the conversation which I've been speaking about. Anybody there, just give me a thumbs up. You can, yeah, give me this. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'm going to look forward to that. So in the meantime, let me wait and see. You want to speak again? Let me see whether people and they pick that up. Okay, I think people are picking it up. Okay. So anyway,
okay, that's fine.
So like I was saying, now, and I guess this is what you want to talk about. That today, as we speak, the Republic of Guinea, the power being a power, has been overthrown. In the lead up to this overthrow, and the cause and reasons where the people away overthrow them, we know say there's an argument out there talk about democracy, but everything has limitation. If you want to use democracy as the excuse, say the means used to oust you from power is not democratic, then you get for ask, how did you end up being where you are if waiting you be used was democratic? When you use the powers vested in you wrongfully in changing the constitution, which the people did not accept lying down, they protested. But then you use the resource of the state where you be swear for use if aggression is brought upon the country, largely from outside, or people are misbehaving wrongfully, and you gun down, you mow down hundreds of your citizens. And the army, in most armies, this I know, has a constitutional duty because now then get the equivalent of power, the guns. I talked about this a week ago, where they can use because the thing where they use for muzzle we now the guns. Before the guns are the laws and the statutes, and you call it, and all this establishment the way you look at, and then under a system for good governance called democracy. So as long as we all function correctly, these things are fine. But once you deviate from that, you become that despot. You begin encourage nepotism, cronyism, which are not part of the tenets of democracy, then you don't begin to violate that very principle where you vow for uphold. And people have got the right to protest. It is in the constitution there is a right to protest. And then you begin for suppress those rights. And once you begin for do that, it's just a matter of time. The consequences you cannot determine, or it can only be for a while. You cannot dictate all of this. Superman, you want to weigh on this?
Yes, thank you very much once more, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma, and I want to say hello to all the viewers and modelists we like so. And it's very important, it's particularly on that point that I want to opine, because this should be a continuous example, although the leaders, and mainly that sub-region, they for on the land say, the idea for continuing for oppressive people, for abuse the rule of law, abuse people and human rights, and it catch up on you. Whatever you think, say they control the military, they control the population, they muzzle everybody. These are the things that happen. Alpha Conde is an 83 years old man who don't serve in 2 terms. He don't serve in 2 terms already, yet still he manipulate the constitution for hang to power only to be disgracefully removed. And this should be an eye-opener, not only to Mr. Conde and Guinea, but most of those leaders the more get now West Africa. Because by and large, we can actually describe them as dictators. People already oppress them, just because they are the presidents. And that is not the way it's supposed to be at all. Because democracy, the power supposed to be with the people. The people that they elect you, put you in that particular office as the president of the republic. You give for respect them people in there. You give for respect the rights them as young people them where you they live in that country. The idea for constantly use the military force, use the judicial system for oppress the people. Now then outcome here always with the crap. And again, I go say this for be an example or a warning to short leaders who get this dictatorship tendency. Feel say because they are presidents, they go able to do everything for punish, for subdue, for oppress the people. That one way or the other, the time will catch up with them. Because the God where we only serve, a living God, where they see we all. You know, I mean, it's really sad and unfortunate that we can't get them like the region or sub-region West Africa, therefore go through short things them. Very sad. Again, look at what happened in Mali. Now, where the ruling party when they be toppled, tied for members of parliament, when people elect for represent them. And look at the outcome. Look at the state of the country today. And now look at what happened in Guinea. Look at the turmoil where they turn the country to. And this all has ramifications, economic ramifications. And when the people, the masses, continue to suffer. You know, I hope for the sake of people, that sub-region, the leaders, them understand this. There's nothing like absolute power. Power, they go, they come and go. So I hope this particular thing happen with Alpha Conde, where them feel say, now a strong man, where they manipulate, do all things for subdue the people, massacre the people, for set an example so that nobody no go challenge them.
Okay.
Well, it look like say time don't catch up with them. Now that's my about open because it's really sad and unfortunate for the people, the young people in the whole sub-region. We don't go through so much that we continue to go through this pain. But we hope and pray that things turn out to be better. Now that's my man contribute. Okay.
That was the voice of and many thanks, brother, and we'll talk later. That was of one of the anchors on this platform and an outspoken critic. On issues, nothing personal. That I can say for sure. But anyway, Fambol, for return back, here on track is this now the new development over the year, and as we speak today, the man where yesterday sleep in palace and get all the powers accorded a president has been reduced to nothing, and this now a lesson for land. Serious. It's not like we are in a celebratory mode. Not me in particular. I'm not innocent because I just speak truth to power. I know say Alpha Conde, he abused many of the powers, and like the last speaker said just now, this is an 83-year-old man. We been get an opportunity for endear himself to in people and get himself written into the history books of Guinea Conakry. As what? Yeah, I think say we guests don't come. I think say we guests don't come and go join we very, very soon. And there is some signal they come in. But anyway, for move to another issue is that of Camaremba. Of course, all of this lumped into the issue. As soon as I can see at the bottom of me scroller, Camaremba Mansari, an opposition leader, because he leads an opposition party. Somebody questioned me the other day. How come he's an opposition leader? Simple thoughts. He leads an opposition party. He gets an opposition party. So he's a leader of the opposition because he leads an opposition party. Now make them decipher, then talk them. Now, Uda na the majority one, or Uda they lead this and that. But the idea he does have an opposition party to which he's the head. We oppose this government, and he's been an open critique. He's been in jail for a little over 13 months. We get two or three of them officials, they come on the platform this week, God willing, for can explain to we the man in remember say what come out recently say he passed. No, we don't say he not passed because we talk people them way they see him almost on analysis, even though visitation to him be denied for a few hours or a few days. and that I believe say fuel rumors say he don't die. No, he's not. He's not dead. He's not well, and his condition has deteriorated. That we can say for sure. And is still incarcerated and 13 months on. And this is what we are talking about. I see social media pundits, because one case, we not scrutinize that case there yet, but we get for a look into Ram. This is the recent victory for those of us freedom lovers in terms of we were going to call for a reformation of the judiciary. The action was taken in the judiciary quite recently involving the issue around Tusim and a particular man, a big man in stature. This is Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela. So, Honorable, welcome, sir. I go get you on soon. Let me just finish this point quickly. So, Dr. Kande Yumkela go on and na court, and the case, went in his favor per se, but by default, every one of us who have been proponents for this to sin. Of course, I get issues around the to sin because I'm of the opinion that if you get allegiance that is conflicted, you should be able to participate in your country in political affairs, but I believe there should be a limitation. Why should you have double allegiance or to sin and then you be president? Why? Why would you want to be? Or if you want to be like Dr. Kande do, he renounce the order. That shows what he intend for doing is serious about it. Okay? Very, very serious. Yeah. Hello, caller. Yes, sir. If you don't want to participate on the program, I'm live. Maybe it's just a private call. Okay. I will give it many thanks, sir. Goodbye. Yeah, okay. So you never know whether they call for talk. So anyway, on the same note, so the Supreme Court in ruling be favorable to many of us. Of course, it became political talking point again for others. And it's like suddenly, of course, the judiciary did win, but there are so many cases stacked up against the judiciary where we they look for a recourse to justice that we don't have. One of them, and most critical, is the leader of the opposition party, ADP, Alliance Democratic Party. We still the languish in jail 13 months for alleged rape. Like you get for make and because when you talk about this, it's like you entertain rape. How do we? Is speaking up against the injustice of a man being incarcerated for over 12 months, talking within the prism of justice, the accordance of law, the legal jurisprudence of the country, which imply or says that a man is innocent until proven guilty, and 13 months of incarceration, and then you speak against that and ask for questions and ask for justice to be meted out to the guy, which means that if justice is served, it either go one way. Either he's guilty or he's not. And this is what we are calling for. You either convict the man or you release the man. 13 months in jail for what? And we're hearing that he's not well. So this is what we're talking about. And these are the challenges where we are looking at the Supreme Court to take action against or for remedium. Look at a young man called Scott, who was found in front of the house of the deputy leader or Minister of Internal Affairs and was shot. Instead of taken to the hospital, this young man is still in jail. Where is the judiciary? Look at Michael, another guy taken, I believe, from Bo, whose crime at the time was because allegedly he was praising a party that he belonged to and what the party did, which he was showing, which was physical and tangible. He was showing infrastructure. In clear daylight with the tapes running, this man was kidnapped. That wasn't an arrest by plainclothes police people, bundled into a vehicle and taken away and ended up within the system, the organized system, the courts. Later on, this guy charge became that of possessing a very tiny amount of painkillers, Panadol, that he could take for he and his family. Not anything that could be sold. Yet this guy is languishing in jail. And then simply because this fits us, of course, it's cause celebrate. But then one victory, and we expect more. And this is what we ask the Supreme Court to do. Intervene in the case of Kamarimba. Justice delayed is justice denied. Convict or release. Foster, a young man shot And probably his leg is getting rotten in jail. What is he doing in jail instead of hospital? Where is the equity that we talk about? Why are there always unequal outcomes depending on your status in society or your belonging where you are? Why is it? And this all factored into what happened in Conakry, Guinea. No matter how long, I repeat, the power belongs to the people and the will of the people will always prevail. You will think that you got away. You may have served, you may have gone, but it will follow you. This is something that I'm really certain of. And let me speak this to certain people. Honorable, if you are ready, I'm ready for you, sir. Let me say this. There is nowhere where it is written that every president has got a 10-year term written that they will have to serve that 10 years. No, nowhere. I can tell you this for sure. It's just this formative idea that it makes sense, but it has to be bordered on the principles of thorough, proper governance, respect for the rule of law and order. Projects that you are carrying out, unfinished business, so you are allowed to carry it further. That's why there's an election. And then when it ends or about to end, people go to the ballot. And when they go to the ballot, it's based, they're going to vote based on what you've accomplished or what trust do they have in you in what you've said. Because, of course, the 5 years is never really enough. But how much did you do based on what you promised to do? What did you do? What is clear to them that, yes, you haven't finished this yet, so it's unfinished business, but we can trust you to take this further. Where is it? It's on those bases that people go on to vote. But in the meantime, you're expected, you have to rig an election to perpetuate yourself in power. Something that you don't need to do if you are doing the right thing. That's why what you do, you have to try to win the hearts and minds of the people. You can't be in denial of corruption when you are very, very corrupt. And the book says so. I didn't say so. The Auditor General report says so. Chernobyl African press says so. As we speak today, no legal action has been taken against people that have been accused that they're making wrong accusations. Monumental accusations, generational accusations that can change the shape of the country and has changed the shape of the country, both politically, economically, and socially. And these are very powerful people. Statements, bank accounts, straightforward, level by level, money's taken, money withdrawn, when, how, whom, check numbers, banks, statements given. But ladies and gentlemen, I promise you now, Chernobyl into the Den and Now platform again. And this time we call them the Chronicles of the African Press. So this is not something over a period of time because there is so much. When this young man started this project, we can go back. We had people of eminence, supposedly. We been there in denial. We heard people say, 22 years we work for we money, now we money this. Later on, the talk changed because the evidence been so persistent, it been so incontrovertible that it was there right before your face. You could not continue denying it, but what a shame. We hear people and say, we go educate the educated fools. In the end, we knew who the educated fools were because the supposedly educated fools educated the real educated fools. Chernobyl will be here soon. I can promise you this. And it come with them bombshell. The man and the institution there on a marathon, and people thought it was a sprint. They're not tired. So now you can see most of them are back off because nothing not really there for say. Remember, they were all over the place. And these are things that they pay for. Public relations campaign, they spend heavily on them. And it's budgeted, it's there. We can see it, we know the evidence. There. So they did. But all the minions that were sent, because it wasn't bordered on righteous ground, they were all defeated and they've all backed off because there's nothing to say. Same people that we see, they sing, Mama don't come, Papa don't come. What a disgraceful sight. Who are you? Elected, appointed officials for serve, and then you go make line, they sing, Mama don't come, Papa don't come. What if you picking the watching our oaths? I mean, what a disgrace. And like I say, honorable, if you are there, sir, I'm ready for you. Yeah. And we can go on and on with this. But somehow I've been saying that as elections draw near, we need for begin prime with people then We need to tell we people them how for vote, who that for vote for. No, we don't do that. It is a responsibility of this platform for provide information. This is not the root of us. This is not the basis of us. Provide information to we people them so that actions that then take will be based on information. So then choices will be informed choices. So when you go vote, you are aware of the information we available on everybody, be it the ADP, be it the SLPP or APC, all of them, you got the information. So it's on that basis you're going to put your ballot and know who that you vote for and why you vote for. The Salon people, let me tell you this, and I know say we all done the wise up. Remember, say 5 year, not for 5 days, neither 5 months. It's 5 years. So when you give person you vote for that 5 years day, make sure say you know who that you vote and why you give you vote for, because the consequences is you that come to suffer it for 5 years. Waiting at the equivalent of 5 years. You can do 2 undergraduate studies compared that 5 years day. You can do 2 research studies. You become a PhD doctor inside that 5 years day and become a professional inside that 5 years day. If you get 5 years of experience inside a particular discipline, then of course, if that in your CV, you become quite employable. 5 years of experience. It's not a joke. 5 years added pan your age, depending on the age bracket where you depend, can define exactly who you are and what you can be. So we need for begin for consider that people not just come and can't talk yap. We need for understand say when it comes to talking, we get an abundance of people them we sabi talk. Yeah, abundance of them. But what are we looking for? We are looking for leadership, and this is something we don't debate with for quite a long time. This is why we need to keep focus, we ears open, because we are actually looking for leadership, not talk, because we know they can do the talking. So we need to understand what's in a leadership. Leadership is about action. It's about action. You get people the way they talk but cannot lead. But they can use the talking for make we for understand as if they can lead. We need for think wisely, Sierra Leoneans, because we need leadership. And like I say, leadership is about action. It's about some goal that is set to achieve, and you get this leader, we're able to take we over to this goal so that we realize this objective that was set. Not to just talk, and sometimes when they talk, if we even listen proper, we even catch up and no say this talk when they talk, so now fiasco talk. They really need or even know half of waiting in the talk. It's like you're reading a script, and we see that play out election after election, election after election, come out with flashy manifesto, and we also need for the look at them manifesto then they. Are they realizable? Are they actually realizable, especially over the period of time? Because you can see a manifesto so loaded, and you know, say you get a 5-year term. So you need to focus on that 5-year term there and see things that are reasonable and realizable, which are time scale inside our 5 years day. But if we go back on reflection and look at every one of them, the manifesto, then just they load them with fine thing them where they know say not really achievable, especially so during a period of leadership. But then give them because why then take we for granted. No sooner you don't get enough 5 year, first 2 year, 3 year, then they on honeymooning and having this great time and just they use the money, people money them and just they dance while the rest of us continue for suffer. While the rest of us continue for suffer, they are having a great time. Fambolem, Sierra Leoneans them, I they tell you now. We need for grab if we need for left a country for we people them, we picking them. And this is the legacy, like some of us waiting at with man at home. Okay. Legacy is really, really important. And this is something we then pride themselves in. And this spells some of the differences between we and other people like we. We want and here and now, and we are mostly self-serving. Other people that make sacrifices for generations yet unborn. And at that direction, and they I want for let we Sierra Leoneans then they think. Now that direction, and they. That's why they advocate that we debate the way we get, we conversation the way we get. It should be on a collegial level. It should be on an academic level. If you can't find somebody for let to have a collegial debate on an academic level, then that debate, honestly, it's not really worthwhile, because this is exactly what we are saying. How do you chart up a course? How do you develop policies? How do you talk about structures? How do you talk about management and institutions? We can make the news. How do you? So we really need open And like I say, we go continue for invite people on this platform. Honorable, if you're ready, I'm ready for you, sir. If we ready, I mean, we're ready for invite people on this platform. People who are willing to come on the platform. The platform is open to everybody. Then and now they champion the conversation. We're not there na a platform who say some government official or some opposition official, they pay a platform, for let a platform talk for in their behalf. No. And when I hear exactly what we spew out here, all we are saying is like we are speaking truth to power. And our expectations is like those that are in power, yes, those that were in power yesterday, those that are in power today, and largely those in power today. Because I know say part of the conversation is, were you speaking then? Well, then you need to try for understand me whether I was speaking then. And their materials go to YouTube. Over 400 videos of speaking over 4 years. And I've been speaking long before the 4 years, but documented. The legacy is sealed. It's there. Over 400 videos. And when you visit, do not forget for subscribe. And not forget also for click on the bell. So next time when we upload a new video, at least you are informed and you can make a decision based on what you see before you. We really want to talk about issues that Sierra Leoneans have. And election is looming large. We want to talk about the economics. Is it doing well? The answer we go always say is no. Are there factors that we can allude to as to why the economy not do well? I suppose so. And I have no doubt that there are some reasons. But have we done ourselves justice? Where we want to appeal to them mitigating factors, and there have we done ourselves justice? What do I mean by this? Example, we can allude to the pandemic as something we help for not make we economy for expand, or we make them for contract, not develop at all, because of course it was global. That's why we call them a pandemic. But were there advantages? Of course, clearly there were advantages, or other policies than that we had in place were so rampantly corrupt. I mean, I keep stressing on corruption because the government in report, in the form of the Auditor General in report, for which they almost want to put them under ship, under Air Force One, and they talk about Lara Pias, for something where she delayed for quite a while for make sure say no more she gets them right. But when it finally come out, we see the collusion of officials of government for try for douse the impact where they been get. So much so that they almost, if they not accuse the mommy for treason, like he did pan collusion with Chernobyl. And Chernobyl report them come out some time ago. But they are certainly corroborating evidence between the two. We go make people raise their eyebrow. But does it really matter? Or is it just the reality that's supposed to matter? Why did it become a talking point on Africanist press, or the mommy they give Africanist press information? Why did it become a talking point? Why should we be concerned? Are the reports true? This level of corruption. Where is Mr. Francis Ben Kaifala, the ACC scribe? Where every now and then he's got some evidence when he pertaining to somebody else, but when it comes to the other, and then suddenly the evidence fizzle or just disappear in thin air, it evaporates. Where are you, sir? But that conversation is no longer defined by Mr. Francis Ben Kaifala. It's defined by the general public, by social media pundits. These are the people that define the conversation. It's a typical example. Mr. Kaifala go on for, how do you call it? They go on for talk about waiting happening with the New York Chancery. Something where Sierra Leonean people are not adjudicate upon already, sir. We've moved on. We know where we have an idea waiting happen. Yeah? We wait for their reports and then now for come out. That's what we're waiting for. But we have an idea of what happened. We know what happened to the millions. We know the involvement of Mr. Ali Kaba, the head of the mission to the United Nations. We know his involvement. We know the people that will benefit from that money, because money of that magnitude involving millions of dollars does not just disappear, especially with low grade. When I say low grade, people below the ladder. No, these are the quality boys, the big boys. They are actually responsible for the millions that go missing. We know some investment in real property, estates were made. Investments were made in estates. So why do we now begin to understand why Mr. Ali Kaba was removed away, or partly why he was removed away from a lucrative position in New York to something where most of we scratch we head from the beginning as ambassador to Egypt. What's this all about? What really happened or what is behind it? And I'm not saying 100% that this is the reason, but I am just interested that this development come up and it was moved, and it could be something else. But then you look at bilateral relations, benefit between Egypt and Sierra Leone, and a senior key figure as Mr. Ali Kaba taken to Egypt. And then you have to ask yourself question, why? But I can tell you that we are still investigating that end as well. And hopefully one day we will get some story for the Sierra Leonean people. These are the kind of things that are going on. So whilst the conversation is focused on Petroleum Directorate, in which the president allegedly, the president's cousin, a relative of the president, is involved in embezzlement, in other words, corruption of massive sums of money, which was channeled over to him, either of some study leave or etc. And that report also they come out soon. They want shift we attention to something we are done with. Now, prosecution now want see. We are saying that they call on demand and all now for can report. Are we serious? No. And we know say the president they go for go New York because again the UN General Assembly thing they come up for those of una we not know. So it's befitting that conversation begin where they want for address for make sure say that when the president go, if microphone is put in front of the president, at least some of it has been addressed and the president can just do a follow-up, or the publication people and the publishing people and the media people around the president get talking points for address the international media. Because the international media is listening. That chapter has been defined. That's why you see whenever they appear on cable network, MSNs, mainstream media, these are the questions that are asked about corruption. Just watch that. You also therefore understand our international community then they talk. The IMF, for example, when they address the government of Sierra Leone, the things then they say to the government are things where they go say to government, which is like 2 terms in office, not 1 term in office, like 2 or 3 years in office, and then you are saying these things to them. No. These are all signs, of frustration if you understand how it works. So, Fambul, these are really, really challenging times, and something for uplift with people really, really need for change. The life and circumstances of we people really need for change. And it makes much difference if the rulership takes some responsibility and govern we responsibly. This leadership, this rule way government and the rule way, it's not funny. When you want the power, you come and tell me a lot of things. And then some of us kind of buy into it and then vote you into power. How dare you, when you get the power now, you turn your back on us, and you and your family and your immediate surrounding are having this great time, and the rest of us does not really. When you come to us, you're hypocritical. So much so that we go see a member of the team, they go on social media, just being provocative, just being outrightly provocative. Are we really serious? Mr. President, something needs to be done, sir. You really need to put your foot down. Honestly, because certainly enough, you are entertaining some of these things, and the people that really subscribe to that say, well, you've got a life. Well, it's obvious that individuals have got their lives to live, but once they're in the public domain and they serve in public offices, things them way than they do, largely non-secret, they can try for and that's how much secretive it can be. But when it come out, and it's no longer secret. And remember that you're a public official. And for those where they go on social media, TikTok and how you call them, and they use them channel and they in a positive sense, gonna for hints. This is pathetic. It really, really pathetic. Let's be honest. So let me see. Maybe we will get for take a little bit of a commercial break. Let me see if I can send word quickly to the studio and see whether we can take a commercial break if that's possible. If that's not possible, the talking point is so much that I can go on and on and on. But Fambulem, all of this boils to the fact that as we speak today, the Republic of Guinea, there has been a coup plot. The president who slept in his mansion, in his presidential palace yesterday, Mr. Alpha Conde, is president of the republic if waiting we see play out is anything to go by. And with waiting me see with my own eye and understanding coup plots where I don't see for the last 40 years, the president has been arrested, taken to an unknown location as far as we know. The army of the People's Republic of Guinea, the army of the People's Republic of Guinea is effectively in charge. The leader of the coupists have come out and spoken to the Guinean people. We've seen widespread jubilation in the Republic of Guinea, and we know say the coup popular because we can reflect. Some time ago, as how this power managed for Manu for do a third term, which sends a message to other presidents, to other leaders around the world, around the continent, mostly around the West African region, that when the people ask for their power back, people who will stand up with the people. Today, the army of the Republic of Guinea has stood up largely with a vast majority of the Guinean people. Remember, the circle Alpha Conde was in, leading to the elections which ushered him term, was very, very unpopular. And we say this with confidence because we saw the action on the streets of Conakry and other heavy cities in Guinea. And those protests were violently put down by the same security forces who have turned their guns today on that same leadership because they don't accept, and it was a matter of time that we don't accept what you've done. Now, for those who want to argue on the basis of democracy, here is what I've got to tell you. You first of all have to respect the principles, the tenets of democracy. And what does it say? The most basic of it all. It is a government led by the people, for the people, and with the people. What does this mean? When the people borrow you, power, borrow and they borrow you, then power, because every term, as stated by the Constitution for which you can last, presidential or parliamentary term, depending on the system of government, you will come back to the people and ask them, and that's how elected in. That said, there's nowhere where it is written that, have got this as if it's written, it's a given. No. So the people went, the Constitution says 2 terms, and he should have respected that. So that was a violation of the constitutional right. He never upheld what he swore to do. And as a consequence of those actions, he abused the tenets of democracy, the same democracy that ushered him in power. The same can be said of what happened or is happening partly in Sierra Leone. We're not going to hesitate to say this, and that's why we make the claim, we make it bare for all to see. If you want to argue, this platform is open. We can have those. What we implement in which the speaker was imposed on him, that's a violation of the Constitution and the tenets and principles of democracy. When police people entered the House of Parliament, that was a violation of the tenets and principles of democracy, to forcibly remove people that were elected by the people, for the people, and with the people. That was a violation of the tenets of democracy. When the people were gunned down in Makeni, far away from where election was taking place, that was a violation of democracy, because it's the same thing. The security forces were used heavy-handedly, okay, to allegedly quell down a protest. And the other side of Sierra Leone jubilated to show how much identity politics and the polarization of our politics has been to us, so much so we see our compatriots as the other. So much so that the president went to Turkey and looking at a museum or inspecting weaponry, there was celebration on social media by people affiliated with the rulership, saying that these weapons will be purchased to mow down Sierra Leoneans. Do we see the consequence in Guinea today? Does that make sense? Will that send a message to governments like, of course, you've got the power now, Because this is why I hear from some people, the government of the day is the government of the day. Yes, it is the government of the day as much as they respect themselves and lead according to what the diktats governance calls for. But obviously, there are consequences. You can be the most powerful man. That's what I'm saying. Barely 24 hours ago, Alpha was the most powerful man in Guinea. Today, there are many people who are far, far more powerful than him and more respectable than him, because imagine, from president, today he's under arrest, and we see him as we've never seen him before in casuals, like what happened in Babu, although I was against that. But in casuals, you know, shovel, rough, partly unbuttoned shirt, flip-flops off back. This is it. The only thing that stands between some people and jail is power. That's why some people fear to leave power, and they will do everything in their means to perpetuate themselves in power. But it all comes to an end. For behold, for every beginning, there is an end. Just like the beginning of a mile starts with the first step, there is an end to that journey. And one in that journey, or on that journey, do contemplate the challenges along the way. You have to think about the challenges along the way, because those challenges will come to haunt you if you don't deal with them well. In the game of politics, sometimes the end can be really, really sad. For behold, everything that lives will perish. But there's a time span. Everything that goes up will come down. What is important in this respect is legacy. Your people, the thoughts of your people, mind at all times, so that when you go to bed, you sleep well, you worry less. You don't even have to worry about your security. These are not the only people that you take care of, because when you feel insecure, these are the people that you put on a different level, and you forget that power belongs to the people, that the same people can rebel against these people if they were to take action against you. And that's the analogy that I was trying to, when I took us back to all the way to South America and mentioned the state of Venezuela from under Hugo Chavez, whom they removed. They removed him. The army removed him from power. There was a coup. They were away to a U.S. ship, which was deep in the sea as usual. Their hands are always under this coup, although I have a brother who thinks that it's not always under. They are always under. They took Hugo Chavez to a ship, a U.S. ship. That's where they kept him. And guess what? The people rose up. They surrounded the palace. They took the streets, Caracas. The army fired at them. The people never relented. They kept coming in their thousands and thousands. Why? Because this leader took them from grass to mattress, from higher heights, empowered them, shared the wealth, the vast wealth of Venezuela with the people, educated them, took them from the favelas, the ghettos, and constructed housing units for them. How much more can you endear yourself to a people? This is what we expect of our leaders. And Sierra Leone is filthy rich. How come you get rich and we are extremely poor? How come the leadership always gets rich and we, the people, are extremely poor? And we leave this and then we argue all the time. And then you have the minions, the vuvuzelas, and red against green, green against red, and telling us about all of these. And Sierra Leone, and this is what I'm saying, election is coming and we are switching gears. Just like our government self don't switch gear, don't go into campaign mode, to the sharing of money to the army people, which is bribery. We consider bribery. The way you want to empower people, them now for create the atmosphere and look for investment for them, put people to work, let them work and let them make money and pay taxes, and the taxes go around and people them are living. Not to forgo put people on that. Good for give them money, but it becomes an habit all the time they go give them. Yeah, that in itself is belittling our people, because at some point we should have come up with that. It's not like we international country they still give we aid. We national organizations still they go teach we how to make hand pump. and have for chlorine water for over 40, 50, 60 years from when we know myself. That's what's happening. When do you win yourself, WEAN? When do we win ourselves out of this rubbish, this miasma, this morass? When? That's the question Sierra Leonean people we need for the ask ourselves. These people that give this time. How much of them do we know? And I talk about leadership. Leadership is a kind of form of action. We get people who talk, but they are not leaders, because leadership na action. You get for be able to take people across the other side, a better side, from where they are. Not on the basis of from, but in actuality, you're able to tell we, not a way you say, they bring free education, they ask you, how do you cost it? And then you can't cost it. And then suddenly you begin for stutter. Those are all telltale signs, that we're supposed to think about. And that's for next time, because now it's happening. But new leadership, then they come and they can tell you all kind of colorful things. And then we get for realize, say, we've heard all of this before. 60 years, here we are. So we want to see tangibles. See the methodology you arrive at waiting you to tell we say you go do for we. How will you? These are the things that we really want for know. Salon Fambule. So I think say we don't do almost an hour, I believe, of the program, or approaching the hour mark, and we're going to do this program for an hour. So I go let una know when we wrap up, and very soon. In any case, we'll be supposed to get the Honorable Ibrahim Bundu, a man who has been in Parliament for 3 terms. This is not what I was supposed to do today. We were supposed to have a conversation. We'll be supposed to largely based on the constituency elections we conduct as directed by Justice Adrian Fisher for elect 5 people in every constituent. We go form the basis of going to the convention. By the way, we get for cover the convention. Just one for let one know. We go find them way to the convention for go adopt the APC new constitution. So, Honorable Bundu, one of the people that were there for conduct these elections, a very experienced parliamentarian. He's been in Parliament for years. He's headed committees in Parliament. He's been, I think, the minority leader or the whip in Parliament. He's headed delegations to the EU and the Asia Pacific, like that. Very experienced. So we for be not hearing from today, unfortunately not. So coming up this week, as soon as I can see, the top 3 of the C4C leadership, they will be on this platform right here. And they will be talking a lot of things, but center around that is the allegations of them interfering with these very constituency elections, specifically in Akono. I think we're not hear really little about that, but we'll get the top 3 leadership of the C4C. They will be right here on this platform. Try for explain. We also they use this platform, as you can see now. We scroll at. They call on the government, the judiciary, where a lot of us they celebrate because of the Tusim case, for also look into the case of Kamarimba. At least they can intervene. Something has to be done. You can't keep a man allegedly accused for rape, 13 months in prison, no conviction, no anything, but you just keep them there, and rumors don't begin to go around that he's dead. Of course, he's not dead. And I want to tell Fambulen as well, say 2 or 3 of the officials as well, the party belonging to Kamarimba Mansare, the Alliance Democratic Party, will be on this platform for explain to me. I think on Tuesday or Wednesday they will be here for explain to Fambulem where Kamarimba stands in terms of the court, in terms of in general health, which we understand deteriorated, he need hospital treatment. That has not been accorded him this from an official of in party. And this party, we know say, according to the officials, then try for hijack this party in collaboration or cahoot or collusion with the PPRC, the APA, the APPA. And when a member say APA, we na all party political party association get this de facto under a guy called Prince Harding, because not Prince Harding, Prince Harding, and this is quite interesting. The chair, the big man for the party SLPP. Now, in the deputy for APA. Imagine this. And then a guy called is the head of APA. And a day we go get for talk about. And how then they in collusion, remember say about 11 or 10 months ago, I tell una say Zainab Mosiri, when I've been the de facto for the PP, go eventually be put forward for succeed at French as the Western chair for NEC. 10 months after that prediction, they come to the then and now. Because our ears are wide open, we are listening. And what will they do on this? It based on information, because we fact check, we research to the people who are germane to the conversation, and then we put them out there to fan bamboo and go understand what we are talking about. Unfortunately, not able to forget Honorable Bundu because of some technical issues, but then we lost them again. It's not a problem. We will still try for bring them because people then we get information necessary. We will always go as far as we can do a level best for bring them come so that we go have this conversation. Like I say, we come to an end of particular program, the media platform, and like we call them an empire. This is exactly what we are aspiring to be. And it's no longer about the journey, it's about the destination. And we are arriving, as you can see for yourself. There's much more we've done, so much, but there's so much more to be done. Because life is about working within yourself almost all of the time. And let we also pay attention to the relevant platform there. When they say not go listen to a platform or go listen to outside the conversation is relevant. Outside discussion based on objectivity. Yes, sometimes some kind of selection can be on the conversation, but you try and it should be research based. But again, just before I left Una, I want to insist that the elections they come, and we safe they shift gear. We know say the structural inequity in our country. Sometimes the way we hear it, it's like lip service because if they are being addressed 4 years on, it's not having a fruitful impact on the people. It's like, for example, my friend sent me the passing out and military assignment, at the border and what have you. It's all well and good. Even for the optics as at this time, it's not. Because the priority is about people's pockets, people's lives. We're not under immediate threat for people to be worried about our borders being invaded or an invasion. Waiting the worry people now will call priority is about food on the table, how they go about their daily business, because for now, the country is not under threat, it's not under aggression. I mean, from foreign forces, for say, they mobilize with army. So it's a good thing we'll see Wami man and wear fine uniform, then they pass out military gears and what have you. It's a good thing. But this is not what people will take na big market to for put pot na fire. So that's their priority. If they were to hear like paid for this month, of course there will be flashes of joy all over the country. If then we say, well, we salaries have been increased for March inflation, then of course you will rejoice all over the country. But not everybody is interested, because people will actually be interested as a secondary thing if their belly be full. Not the way you angry then and so you a military vehicle. Although that goes down well, with them. But certainly other people then hold a different notion. Famulem, this is not the very end of the program. Like I've been say, we get spokespeople them, then spokesman them, then boku, then sabi talk them. We tell like them put something at them mouth for sabi talk. And when election they cancel, if we not already don't begin to see them and you read them, open you is fine because they are coming. When they come, not hesitate for ask them before begin for prepare with questions then now. Then when they within a power now, when they come meet we for explain to we, we for able for ask them for the past 5 years, show we what have you done? Tell us what have you done for country, for us. What have you done? There's likely going to be an answer because it's not like they haven't done anything. But let we also scrutinize what they've done. How long did it take? How much did you spend? And the reason why they ask this, because we've seen the inflation of bills. We've seen the abuse of contracts. Contracts and we're supposed to go parliament. You disregard the parliament. So we celebrate one arm of government today and forget say that there are three arms of government and we will be in this school, both elementary school and high school, secondary school. We learn about the three equal or co-equal parts of government. The three, the judiciary, the executive, and the parliamentary. Three co-equal. But as we speak today, not only today, this goes back, the presidency is the most powerful. Now in the be it all, now in the end it all. That everything we go on, I think I talked about 2 days ago about the form of leadership who they hope for see, transformational leadership, a visionary leadership, a democratic kind of leadership. And there was one more way being very important, paternalistic. Like feelings for you people. You actually get feelings for you people. You actually understand a bit of your people. Not the way you people they down, then you are having this great time, and you can just disappear for weeks, and you appear back. Even tell you how you go and how you come. Yet now we finance and fund you go one and you come one. Whose kind of disregard for the people is that? So like I say, you get a spokesman there, then get for come. Let we not forget for ask them. And only when we are fully satisfied with the scrutiny we will give them. I wonder we scrutinize them as we've never done before. When they can sell this idea to you, let me ask them. If not free education and they bring come, will they ask them again how then they cost them? Or waiting we already get where they exist, this structure where they exist, where they struggle. So it's a good initiative, it's a noble one, but waiting we know they admit to is the struggle and we they in denial. And they in full gear, I supposed for be. And this is just the reality in denial. And if we're in denial, not accept what the problems are, how do we solve what the problems are? This is what the case is. Italics say if you accept, then that means you accept defeat. But not to defeat that one day, because it's not perfect and it doesn't happen over this short period of time. When the president laying agenda down, some of the agendas, go over into a two-term. This is inside the theory of two-term commot because you get project then where you get for end. When you seize power or when you take or when power is handed over to you, it takes a while because now you predecessor project them, now in you they inherit. And not me say you not get you own them, but for let you actualize them, let you action them, it's going to take a while. And sometimes it's well below, beyond 3 years, 4 years, well into your second term, because even if you start in your first term, it never ends until your second term. But if you not realize that and not actually take action for those things, then we are not sincere to we people. So Sierra Leoneans say, at the tell now, let we not get so upset that we want to divest ourselves from politics or political parties. Them no, because this is not going to work. We don't operate or live in a vacuum. No. One last thing before I left for now. I want let we know say money now in the control politics, not to politics they control money. I repeat, money now in the control politics, not to the other way around. This goes largely to the diasporans them. Mostly una can put money together or we can put money together for give political party then don't yonder. How much of that they help with? Because when you do so, now because you they try for lobby a political party for policies them we go shape probably your constituency or your own demography, whether not abroad or outside with it. That's why we give money. But how many demography them, especially the diaspora and them? And then they talk about individuals because it seems like this is the direction that individuals can benefit from out of it, and a day the yuki can come out. Because if it benefits people them as a whole, that contribution we all man they make, then we want a policy, let we say, like to see with them in a talk about so. Where you put money, your money significant enough, that means you can be able for lobby without your money. For let you get it to see where you want for let you remove law, remove. The parliamentarians then go lobby for removal because that's what you do. This is what your money is supposed to do for you. But all the money they are una can send or where we can send. How does that influence the situation in behalf of every one of us or collectively? So you go spend individually thing, we probably go present the money and run their own campaign on their own, or just a circle of their individuals and in the end it doesn't benefit the whole. That has to stop. That doesn't work. Remember, in politics, now the money now in the shape, the money now in the driver, not to the other way around, not to the politics they dictate. That you money the way you give, you can dictate policy. We need for understand that and begin for use these things to we strength. There's another election just looming around the corner. We need for get savvy. We need for begin for get intelligent. We need for begin for be up to standard, up to date, thinking people critically. That's what we need for begin for do. That the money now in the control politics, not to the other way round. We can use them for influence the position them where we want. So Fambulem, I want for left on this basis, allow not forget waiting to go on at the Republic of Guinea. We pray for the Guinean people. We pray for we leadership that then go see reason, at least for turn cause, for change cause. So we now know say that the Guinean president, Mr. Conde, is no more. It's no more president. It's gone. So there is no surety that they tell you say coup never happen again. I hear about coup people and they say that. No, it has become unpopular because as democracy they grow, coups are becoming things of the past. But then when you get a leadership, when they necessitate the change the way people they want, and then you become so despotic, so nasty, so threatening, then of course that's what you're inviting. So on this basis, Fambulem, I think say I've said enough. When I not forget, right here on this platform, we get about 4 programs where they come up very heavy. We get Musa Tombo, they come up, the footballer. Musa Tombo will be on this platform. We promise you now. People from officials from CFOD will be on this platform, including ADP leader. Then for can talk about the plight of Kamarimba, Mansari, and others. On behalf of the Then and Now Media Empire platform, me, na Prince Emil Kuma, they say thank you very much, Sierra Leoneans, for listening. I will be on this channel again very soon. Many, many thanks and good night.